Hi everyone, this is Anders from Mind the Shift. You know, when I got here to Spain last week, I was prepared for the face masks. But the other day, the government in Madrid announced that they're imposing a state of health emergency, which means that there's a curfew during the night hours now, and you're not allowed to travel between certain regions. And now I hear it's going to be even worse in France once again. I mean, what's going on? Really? The Spaniards just got out of 2 months of full-blown lockdown. I'm not a fan of conspiracy theories. I don't think there's a bunch of evil entities pulling the strings behind the scenes, but the handling of this pandemic damn well starts to look like it. I mean, is that this virus really that dangerous? It kills very few, mainly the old. May sound crass, but I mean, it is actually mainly killing people who would otherwise die within a couple of years or maybe a couple of months, really, even. And we know that we're all going to die. That's the only thing we know. And we can protect the vulnerable. That's not rocket science. And the government can encourage the rest of us who will get sick but won't die to act and behave respectfully and responsibly. Okay, you say maybe, well, what about the healthcare system? The healthcare system. We have to see to it that it doesn't collapse. What if it collapses? Well, you can think one thing about that. What if lockdowns, which is actually happening, lowers GDP with something like 5 to 8%? Imagine how far just a fraction of that would go to reinforce the hospitals. Look at China. They built a hospital in Wuhan in March for 1,400 COVID patients. Well, China is China, you might say, but look at Sweden. In both Stockholm and Gothenburg in April and May, during the first serious wave, emergency wards specifically for COVID-19 patients were erected. And I don't remember how many beds it was for, but they were pretty large. They never had to be used, not even in that first wave. They were dismantled in June. You know, when you know an area really well, a subject, be it healthcare, the banking system perhaps, the military, climate change, whatever, you know it very well, then you see all the time that decisions being made in that area are flawed. They're bad, sometimes completely backwards. And you almost get used to that, so you don't think about it anymore. Then when you dive into a different area, a little bit more deeply, then you can see that the same problem goes for that area. And all of a sudden it dawns on you that probably leaders, politicians, decision makers are this flawed in every area of society. I see a pattern here. The leaders, the politicians, they act in a way that is designed to look powerful. So they take measures even where none are needed. In essence, it's fear-based. Fear takes many forms. One is polarization. You know, the notion that, oh, we here on our side, we are secure here. And if we just can define the border to the other side, the others well enough, will be safe. Another form of fear is to stress that you might lose something. You might lose your money, your health, your national pride, your identity. And when leaders tell us those things and we buy into it, then we act out of that we get stuck in a mindset of crisis and scarcity. And that's no good base for creativity and growth. Goes without saying. But are all leaders like this, you might think? Aren't there leaders of all kinds? I mean, even those who are less fear-based and more loving? Well, yes, there are a few, but here's the catch-22. Highly evolved people, they feel intuitively that they would lower themselves if they took the job. They don't want to be in a position where they're supposed to tell others what to do. They know that every single human being has agency of their own. That's the problem. Yeah, one day I'm gonna write and say more about these things. I'm not a fan of conspiracy theories, like I said, but I know that there are some bad vibes out there, some really bad energies out there that we have to stay away from. And as I've said before, one step is to cut down a little bit on your news consumption. That makes you see things a little bit more clearly. Thank you.